Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of Baldur's Gate 3's most mysterious characters, Withers. Is he just a helpful NPC, or is there something more divine at play? Join me as we explore whether this enigmatic figure could really be Jergal, the ancient god of the end of everything. Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more deep dives into gaming mysteries. Before we uncover the mystery of Withers, it's crucial to understand who Jergal is, especially for those who may not be familiar with this formidable figure from Dungeons & Dragons lore. Jergal, known as the Lord of the End of Everything, is a god whose dominion encompasses death, the afterlife, and fate. This skeletal figure, cloaked in dark robes, emanates an aura of inevitability and permanence, often carrying a scythe or a book, symbols of his roles as the Reaper of Souls and the Scribe of the Dead. Jergal's origins are as ancient as they are unique. He predates many of the current gods in the pantheon, originally serving as a god of the dead, doom, and destruction. However, unlike many deities who cling to their power, Jergal is notable for his dispassionate relinquishment of his throne. He willingly divided his divine powers among three mortals, Baal, Merkul, and Bane, who would later be known as the Dead Three. After dividing his power, Jergal took on the role of a scribe, maintaining the records of the dead and ensuring the continuity of order in the afterlife. In his current lesser but still pivotal role, Jergal oversees the administration of death and the final judgment of souls. His followers, known as Doom Guides, ensure that those who die are properly mourned and that their transitions into the afterlife are smooth and orderly. Jergal's ethos is not one of evil, but of a grim acceptance and execution of the natural laws of life and death. His demeanor is emotionless and excessively formal, viewing everything through a lens of detachment and inevitability. Jergal is often depicted in temples and lore as standing in the background, observing the pantheon of newer path, more vibrant gods handling the day-to-day affairs of the divine realms. His presence is that of a constant reminder of the fate that awaits all living things, making him both feared and respected. Understanding Jergal's complex role and history helps to add depth to our exploration of Withers in Baldur's Gate 3, as we delve into whether this enigmatic NPC could indeed be an avatar or aspect of this ancient deity. Now that we have an understanding of Jergal, let's turn our attention to Withers, a character you'll encounter in Baldur's Gate 3. Withers is not someone you meet immediately, but can be found at the Dank Crypt, tucked away among the ruins just north of where you begin your adventure on the beach after the crash. If this site is overlooked initially, Withers will later appear in your camp, offering his unique services. Withers stands out due to his profound abilities related to life and death. He offers services such as reviving your fallen companions, which hints at his deep mastery over the thresholds of life, an ability not typical of mundane NPCs. His command over such mystical powers suggests a deeper, possibly divine connection. Beyond his remarkable skills, Withers' knowledge and demeanor suggest hidden depths and secrets. His dialogue is laced with hints at cosmic scales of fate and mortality, indicating an understanding far beyond the norm. This knowledge, coupled with his capability to manipulate life and death, marks him as an extraordinary figure within the camp. The nature of Withers' abilities and his mysterious presence make one wonder about his origins and true identity. Could there be a connection to Jergal, given their shared dominion over aspects of death and the afterlife? The similarities raise compelling narrative possibilities, inviting speculation about Withers' role in the larger story of Baldur's Gate 3. This intriguing setup prompts us to explore further how Withers might be intertwined with the ancient god of the end of everything. Exploring the potential connections between Withers and Jergal in Baldur's Gate 3 reveals intriguing evidence suggesting that Withers might be an avatar, aspect, or servant of Jergal. Supernatural abilities. Withers' ability to resurrect the dead and manipulate the fates of the player's party mirrors the godly powers over death and fate that are characteristic of Jergal. These capabilities are extraordinary, especially for an NPC, hinting at a divine or supernatural origin. Cryptic dialogue and knowledge. Withers exhibits a profound understanding of the afterlife and fate, which are integral to Jergal's domain. His dialogues are laced with cryptic insights into life and death, reflecting Jergal's duties as the keeper of the Book of the Dead. Mysterious presence in key locations. The placement of Withers in significant story locations, such as the Dank Crypt, aligns closely with thematic elements associated with Jergal. This strategic positioning within the game suggests a narrative purpose that resonates with Jergal's lore. Game design and story integration. The way Withers is integrated into the game's lore and narrative indicates a deeper significance than initially apparent. His recurring appearances and the unique impact he has on the storyline support the theory of his connection to Jergal, enhancing the narrative depth and player engagement. This exploration not only adds depth to Withers as a character, but also enriches the overarching narrative of Baldur's Gate 3, providing players with a richer and more immersive gaming experience as they uncover the true nature of Withers' influence and origins. Examining the evidence linking Withers to Jergal in Baldur's Gate 3 unveils a tapestry of subtle hints and explicit connections, meticulously crafted by the game's developers. Here's a detailed breakdown of the in-game evidence that supports this theory. Supernatural powers and resurrection ability. Withers possesses the power to resurrect dead characters, a capability typically reserved for high-level clerics within the Dungeons & Dragons framework. Yet his method is far more potent and less restricted. This aligns with Jergal's domain over death and the fate of souls, suggesting a divine influence or origin. Dialogue and lore references. Throughout the game, Withers makes several comments that hint at a deeper connection to the cosmic balance of life and death. For example, during interactions in the Dank Crypt, if players succeed in certain knowledge checks, Withers reveals insights into the nature of death and the afterlife that echo Jergal's responsibilities as the scribe of the dead. These dialogues are not only reflective of Jergal's lore, but are presented in a way that implies Withers has a first-hand understanding of these cosmic processes. Location and contextual placement. Withers is strategically placed in the Dank Crypt among other significant areas linked with death and fate. This is not just a background setting. It's a place teeming with undead and historical secrets, resonating with Jergal's themes. The crypt serves as a poignant backdrop that complements and enhances Withers' connection to death-related powers and themes. Game design and mechanics. The design elements associated with Withers, his character model, the ambient effects around him, and his script within the game further hint at his supernatural status. His abilities and the contexts in which they are used do not align with typical NPC capabilities, suggesting an underlying narrative purpose designed to link him with Jergal. Direct references in data-mined content. Data-mined content from the game's files has revealed dialogues and other elements that refer to Withers in ways that connect directly to Jergal. This includes references to terms like Scribe of the Dead and Judge of the Damned, roles historically associated with Jergal. Although data mining can reveal content that may not be explicitly presented in the game, it offers a glimpse into the developer's intentions and the character's deeper narrative connections. Symbolic representation and themes. Withers' actions at critical moments, such as his ability to open portals to other realms, or his dialogues about the nature of existence, serve as thematic reflections of Jergal's role in the D&D universe. This symbolic linkage not only enhances the narrative depth, but also provides keen players with a richer, more immersive experience. These pieces of evidence collectively suggest that Withers is more than he appears, potentially embodying or representing Jergal in Baldur's Gate 3. This connection enriches the game's story, offering layers of lore for players to explore and interpret, adding to the overall mystery and depth of the gaming experience. Withers' connection to the Fugue Plane. In the vast and intricate lore of Dungeons & Dragons, the Fugue Plane stands out as a vital transit hub for souls after death, where they await judgment or claim by their respective deities. This realm's stark, featureless landscape serves as the perfect backdrop for Withers' deep-seated knowledge and manipulation of life and death. Withers' abilities suggest he might be an agent or envoy of this plane, which aligns closely with Jergal's domain and responsibilities. Jergal, as a god associated with the end of life and the cataloging of the dead, would have significant influence here. Withers' actions in Baldur's Gate 3, his ability to revive the dead, and his cryptic knowledge of afterlife processes could be manifestations of his connection to the fugue plane, where souls are sorted and sent to their final destinations. This linkage not only provides a lore-based explanation for his powers, but also deepens the narrative by connecting character abilities directly to the cosmology of D&D. Symbolism of Withers' appearance. The visual design of characters in D&D often holds deeper significance, reflecting their nature or allegiance. Withers, with any skeletal features or motifs of darkness, would visually echo Jergal's own Grim Reaper-like appearance. Such design choices are not merely aesthetic, they serve as visual shorthand for players, hinting at Withers' possibly divine or otherworldly origins. If Withers is depicted with elements such as dark cloaks, pale, gaunt features, or symbols associated with death and the afterlife, such as skulls or scythes, these would further reinforce his connection to Jergal. These symbols help to weave a visual narrative that complements the game's story, enhancing the immersion by aligning character design with lore. The role of necromancy. Necromancy in D&D lore is often misunderstood. It's not inherently evil, but is instead a complex school of magic dealing with life, death, and resurrection. In the case of Jergal, necromancy is a tool to maintain the balance between life and death. Withers' ability to resurrect characters without the harsh penalties typically seen in D&D, like loss of a level or constitution, suggests his practice of necromancy is of a higher order, possibly divine, and closely aligned with Jergal's handling of souls. This portrayal of necromancy through Withers as a balanced and natural force challenges conventional perceptions and enriches the game's thematic depth. It presents necromancy as a necessary aspect of the world's order, handled by Withers not with malice, but as a custodian of Jergal's will, ensuring that the cycle of life and death remains uninterrupted. These elaborations on Withers' connections to the fugue plane, the symbolism in his appearance, and his role in practicing necromancy help to build a more nuanced understanding of his character in Baldur's Gate 3. They connect gameplay and narrative elements to the broader D&D universe, providing a richer gaming experience that resonates with long-standing lore and new interpretations alike. Jergal's role as the Seneschal. Aside from his historical power over death and the afterlife, Jergal is also known as the Seneschal, a role that involves not only the recording of the dead, but also the arbitration and oversight of their final judgment. This aspect of his divine duty involves maintaining the order and rules of the afterlife, a crucial but often overlooked responsibility that ensures the cosmos remains in balance. Withers' potential as an arbiter. Withers' presence and actions in Baldur's Gate 3 could be subtly reflecting Jergal's role as an arbiter of the afterlife. His interactions with the player, especially in scenarios involving life or death decisions, might be an extension of this divine responsibility, influencing events from behind the scenes to maintain cosmic balance. Withers could have a more profound influence on the player's fate than initially apparent. Jergal's domain over the end of things and the final outcomes might manifest through Withers' advice or decisions in the game, subtly guiding the player along paths that align with Jergal's broader plans or tests of character and morality. Exploring these elements helps to enrich our understanding of Withers' character in Baldur's Gate 3, suggesting a deeper, more integrated role that resonates with Jergal's themes of fate, judgment, and the afterlife. That wraps up our exploration into the mysterious figure of Withers and his potential connection to the ancient deity Jergal in Baldur's Gate 3. We've delved into the depths of D&D lore, uncovering secrets that intertwine these two characters in fascinating ways. What do you think about Withers' true identity? Do you see the threads linking him to Jergal, or do you have another theory? Share your thoughts and any clues you've picked up along your own adventures in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more lore-rich content, and ring the bell to never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.